to the cloud. Okay, hi guys, welcome. Happy Monday, happy Boss Babes team call. I am so excited for our call tonight. So we had 5 new diamonds in the month of August, which is just incredible. We had 6 in July. We got to hear from them last month. We had 5 new diamonds in August. So I wanted to have them all on a call, especially because 4 of them are brand spanking new coaches, like literally signed up in July-ish, kind of brand new coaches. And so Stacy couldn't be here tonight. I don't know if you heard, she is not feeling well. Hopefully she does not have the COVID. She did take a test, but she hasn't gotten her results back, but she just could not make it on the call. Said she was coughing like every 5 seconds. So she's going to record a video of her answers. I pre-sent all the ladies the questions, but I'm just so excited to hear from these ladies and just hear what they are doing. And I thought it was so important for you guys to hear from them, because everybody's road to diamond looks different. And I think where a lot of coaches get themselves in trouble is putting expectations or limitations on their business and how fast or how quickly or how realistic things are. And honestly, what I have learned over 5 years is that if you think something's too quick, there's somebody in the company that's done it quicker than you. Or you think you're going too slow, there's someone in the company that has taken way longer to get there than you did, right? So everybody is just running their own race. So I never want you to compare or to compete. You are just running your own race in this business, but don't let that be a reason that you don't allow yourself to move forward. So I wanted you guys to hear from these incredible ladies tonight. So we'll just go in alphabetical order. So what I'll do is I'll ask the question. We'll go through alphabetical, which would be Destiny, Jordan, Naomi, Trisha will round us out. And then once Trisha finishes her answer, then we will move on to the next question. Sound good? Sounds great. Okay. All right. So number 1, what made you decide to become a coach? And how long did you watch, or how many times were you approached before you became a coach? Destiny, kick us off.
All right, so my coach is Hannah, and I signed up, I believe in like April or May as a discount coach, and I was literally going to probably cancel the next month, just so I just signed up to get the discount and then was gonna be done. And Hannah probably approached me, like 5 times throughout like probably 2 years about. So I know Hannah from teaching spin. She used to come to my spin classes, and she was always super polite, never pushy, and I always just gave her a polite no thank you. And then once COVID shut down, I mean, I didn't have a gym to go to, so I was like, okay, fine. I think I literally messaged Hannah, okay, fine, I'll bite. And so then she sent me some information, was like, to save some money, you sign up this way, I'll sign you up as a coach, but then we can always cancel that part later. I'm like, okay, I'll cancel later. Well, then I just kind of sat behind the scenes, did the prep and the work, and then really started being like, wow, this is actually really working. So July, I decided to just go for it. And with Hannah's mentorship and then watching everybody on the groups, I just participated in as many like team calls and pushes and everything like that I could, and then just ran with it. So yeah, I think Hannah approached me like 5 times. I went back on my Instagram to look, and that 5th time I finally said, I'll bite, and then been running ever since. So.
Okay, awesome. And not to mention, like, she didn't just like get to diamond. Like, girl has like 20, 30 coaches, I think, at this point. So let's just take a second to recognize the hustle that this woman has. Like, it's absolutely incredible, crushing it with Success Club points. She even has like 5 or 6 coaches under her spouse account. And this, I think, is a really important lesson, because what happens to a lot of people who rush to diamond, which is fine, get there as fast as slow as you want, it's your business. But what happens is we push so hard to get this rank of diamond, and then we're like, whew, yeah, that was a lot of work. And then we sit back. And I messaged with one of my coaches the other day, and she's like, man, I swear getting to diamond was easy. It's the holding it's at the hard part. And I'm like, I feel like I've said that. So you can't just get there and think like, I'm good. I mean, I've even messaged Destiny the last 2 weeks, like, hey, sister, we gotta plug this hole, make sure that we're good, right? So, I mean, I don't want you to feel like you're on a hamster wheel, but if you have this mentality of like, my job is to grow my organization and help people get started, then you won't have to feel like every single week there's holes you're having to plug. All right, awesome. Jordan, you're next.
Perfect. Hi. Okay, so I also looked back at my messages from Danny, and because I knew it was a lot. And it started in September of 2016. I actually messaged her because I was like, oh, I want to, like, what you're doing is really cool. I want to jump in. And never did. And she messaged me 8 times between September 2016 to June 2017. So like you said before, you just keep following up with people and eventually it's going to happen. But I ended up signing up May 2020, which is way later. I wanted to do it back then, but I was like, I don't want to spend the money. I was that person. And I look back at those messages and I'm like, that poor girl. She was like, Jordan wants to do it. And I'm like, never mind. So many times. It was so bad. So I definitely chuckled earlier when I looked at that. Sorry, I'm looking at my computer at my notes. I wrote notes if I'm looking down. But what really got me started this year was a lady came into my restaurant and she was getting a to-go order and she's like, I just love your personality. I love your attitude. You'd be awesome helping with a project that I'm doing. And I literally had no idea what this project was for like the longest time, but I kept talking to her and I was like, okay, eventually I'll get it, right? And I was on a Zoom call with like a bunch of people. He was talking about entrepreneurship for an hour straight. And that was like the interesting part to me. And then he went on to like whatever they were doing. And I was like, this makes absolutely no sense. I promise this is going somewhere. But I sat there and I took so many notes on that first half and I was like, holy shit, it just so many light bulbs went off in my head. And I'm like, I don't want a normal job. And, I think within like 24 hours of watching that, the Zoom call, I filled out Danny's coach application and I'm like, I got it. I want to do this. So that lady in the restaurant, literally, I don't even remember her name. She like made something go off in my head. I don't know what it was, but I'm so happy that she did, even though I think it was Amway. She was with Amway. I looked it up and it seemed right. And I was like, this is really weird. Not what I want to do, but health and fitness, love it. And I'm so happy that I did this, even though it took me forever.
Awesome. Naomi.
Yeah, so I kind of slid into coaching in the strangest way possible. I'm laughing because Hannah's nodding her head. I had a baby in March, and when I was pregnant, I messaged Hannah in like December, and I said, hey, after I pop this baby out, like I'm gonna message you and I'm gonna make it happen. And she was like, great, sweet. And so I did. I started BarBlend in April, and I signed up as a discount coach because I was like, sure, discount, sign me up. I'm a bargain hunter. I'm down for that. And she sent me the Emerald video, and she's like, I know you said you're not interested in coaching. And I was like, thanks, but no thanks. Like, I'm good. Solid hard pass. And then I finished BarBlend and I had awesome results. Mainly, I think I attribute it to the community is what like kept me going. But I had like great physical results and my mental health was better. And I was like, okay, yeah, MBF, this sounds fun. And Hannah's like, I know you don't want to coach. And I'm like, yeah, nope, I'm good, thanks. And this is beginning of July, like July 1st. And then the next week I was like, I'm not coaching, but I invited 9 people to MBF and they're all signing up. And she was like, whatever you want to call not coaching, Naomi, like, sure. And then I just I said, I'm sliding in there. I'm just sliding into coaching, which turned into running into coaching. And then 6 weeks later, I was diamond. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it. And it happened. So yeah.
Okay, that is like the best story I've ever heard in my life. Okay. All right. Trisha, bring us home, sister.
All right. Can you hear me? Hopefully. Okay. I'm Trisha. My story is quite different. I started back in 2017 and I was on Danny's team with Team Boss Babes originally and as my coach, and I saw her and I was like on fire. She was just like lit. She like lit everything up inside me. I was like, I want to do all of what she does. And I was so excited. And then we had our first child in 2018 and I got pregnant and I was like, it's fine. I look totally fine and I don't need to like work out. And so I like stepped back and Danny's like, okay, weirdo, bye. And I was like, okay, bye. I don't know why I did that. Don't ask me. But I think I was just scared and I was just like that like new mom, like, oh, like I can eat cheeseburgers and French fries all day. So I did. And then in 2018, we actually lost our daughter stillbirth at 36 weeks. So that just like crushed me completely. I was out of the world basically. And then we got pregnant again exactly a year later with our beautiful Elizabeth, and they had the exact same due date. So God has a sense of humor. And so then I was like, okay, but I'm still just going to eat all the cheeseburgers. I'm still depressed and I'm still really whatever. So I knew I wanted to be back on the team, but I just didn't know how and in what capacity. So then probably in December, I knew I was like, okay, December is like my time. I just need to like do something different. So I actually ended up messaging Hannah and was like, hey, I know you had a miscarriage and I know we have like a lot in common. And so I reached out and I was like, but I'm gonna like tiptoe into coaching again. And she's like, okay, weirdo. It's like, okay. So I did. But then probably not even a week later, I was like, okay, I can't just tiptoe. I have to go all in because that's my personality. And watching Danny and just knowing the heart of this team was like, no, I just got to do this. And Danny was amazing because she believed in me the first time, but I didn't believe in myself. That's for sure. I just did it because I was like, yeah, this is cool. And like, but Hannah and Danny definitely have believed in me the entire time. And so that kind of brought me to coaching. And I knew that I absolutely loved this company and like this team, specifically Team Boss Babes, is the best team ever. And Danny has a heart for every single one of us on this call. And I'm just so excited to be here. So that was my journey to being a coach.
Yay. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, starting back at Destiny, what made you want to get to Diamond and what did that road look like for you? How long did it take you?
What made me want to get to Diamond was that's just my personality. First it was Emerald and I'm like, oh, I just have to sign 2 people. Okay, cool. And then after that was like, well, how fast can I get to Diamond? Because that's what I want. So I was kind of like that in school too, and with nursing. Just if there's something I can go get, I'm gonna go get it. And then obviously the nice little income boost when you go from Emerald to Diamond is huge. So that was obviously an incentive as well. But then when I really looked at it, how many people you had to help to get to Diamond, I'm like, that's awesome. Like I want to help that many people. And then you get a cool rank with that, which is sweet. So I think once I started actively coaching, like putting myself out there, did my Coach Y posts, and then inviting people, I think it was about 5 weeks when I hit Diamond, and then I think, Hannah, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I have 2 more weeks until I lock in Lifetime Diamond. So
Pretty sure it's this week.
is it this? Oh, woohoo!
I'm not crazy or anything. I know everything. Anyways, can you tell us a little bit about what your invites look like, who you were inviting, how many friends you had on social media? Were these mainly people you already know? This is kind of like the nitty-gritty stuff that people want to know. So all the rest of you girls add this into.
Yeah, so I think I started so I mainly use Instagram. I'm not a huge Facebook person, to be honest, so I don't go on there very often. But on Instagram, I think I started with around 700 friends. Today I actually hit 1,000, which I just so cool. So I started on Instagram, and I started with my close friends who I knew liked to exercise. So you would call that maybe my hot market. And then I went to people that took spin from me, because I'm a spin instructor, because I knew that spin was closed and that their gym was closed. And so I kind of was like, hey, I don't know what you're doing for fitness, but this is what I'm doing right now. So my invites, so I don't really do a lot of conversation starters, because I was just finding myself on my phone all the time doing invites, conversation starters. So it kind of depends who I'm reaching out to, whether I just send them an invite or send them a conversation starter. If it's someone I haven't talked to in like a year or so, then of course I do a conversation starter, because it's kind of awkward to be like, hey, I haven't talked to you, but you should totally buy this thing for me. And then, so my invites, so I found the longer something you invite people to, they're not going to be willing to join. So I do 3-week boot camps, and that's through a Facebook page, because actually this was Hannah's tip, because you can set your posts like the night before, and then your post will automatically post to Facebook. So that was really nice for me as a new mom. So then I don't have to get on at a certain time of day every day, because that's just not realistic. So I invite people to that 3-week boot camp, and I don't really say anything about Beachbody in my invite. I say, hey, I want to invite you to this 3-week boot camp I'm doing. It focuses on nutrition and working out. Doing boot camps like this before is what helped me get my results postpartum, and I would really, really, really like to rock this with you, or something like that. Then they say, oh yeah, I'm interested. And then I can say, oh, have you ever heard about Beachbody or Shakeology? So then Danny, I start using kind of what you post on your What Does Danny Say? I have that printed out, and then I just kind of roll with that. And then on Facebook, it depends. If I know someone might be interested that's not on Instagram, then that's when I go to Facebook to invite.
Awesome. Thank you. I love that you're just keeping it simple, and you're really just kind of gauging on that person. Like, okay, I haven't talked to Sally Joe in a really long time. I'm going to start a conversation with her. Okay, this person's kind of in my daily, monthly network already. I'm just going to invite them to the boot camp. I love that. Okay. All right. Who's next? Jordan.
All right. Going off of that, kind of the last part, something that I've learned with invites that's super helpful is less is more. So I was going back with looking at my invites from June, and they were lengthy, and I was like, oh my God, I probably scared people away. And I've noticed that hey, I don't know if you saw, I have a new fitness group starting up soon, and I would be thrilled to send you info. Let me know if you're interested, or something like that. And super quick, they can read it super fast and then probably yes or no. So less is more. Do not word vomit. That was the biggest realization for me so far. Why did I want to be Diamond? Well, I missed the deadline to getting paid for Disney, and I was really heartbroken, but it was all my fault, and that's all it is. But then there was a chance to get invited to Disney, and that's what I wanted. I was literally about to text Danny. I'm like, is there any way I could still go with you guys? Because hanging out with everyone seemed like so much fun for me, and in my favorite place ever. So I really wanted the invite to Disney, and I got it. And I love helping Danny reach her goals and build her business. And that also, I was like, I got to get there for her. To get there, June, the first month I signed up, okay, I signed up very end of May, but June was my first like real month going. It was awesome. I signed up 7 coaches in the first month. It was like bang, bang, bang. July came, I had 2 coaches quit, and I let that totally just stop me. And if I didn't let that stop me, I probably would be getting paid to go to Disney. So just know, don't let coaches quitting stop you. It's not, like she said before, it has nothing to do with you. You got to keep going, because I definitely, that's one thing I regret is stopping in July, because I was like on a fire streak. August was awesome. Obviously, I hit diamond again, or not diamond again. I hit diamond in that month. It was my 3rd month. So I got there decently fast, a little faster than I expected, honestly. And I am hard on myself. I didn't think I was going to get there. So I got there in August. It was awesome. And I'm that person that Danny's talking about, where she has had to check in with me every freaking week this month. Like, hey, you have an inactive happening. I fixed them all. I'm going to fix this week. But God, I don't know what's going on this month. I'm having like these waves in my months for some reason, and I just got to get back into it. But I don't know where I was going with this. Yeah, it took me 3 months. Wanted to get there because of Disney. Less is more. I don't even know where I was going. Where the question was. So yeah, I'm just gonna stop there.
So who did you invite?
Yes.
Just more market people? Did you, just invite everyone you knew? What did that look like?
Okay, well, I definitely started with people that I knew. Went to family members, went to friends, went to old cheerleaders. And I found out old cheerleaders are doing it already, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Kind of sucks though. So I definitely started there. And then I would just invite or add friends. I'm a Facebook person. I don't do a lot of Instagram, definitely a lot of Facebook. I have like almost 3,000 friends on there, and I just add, like, I go on there every day and I just like add random people. I know it sounds really weird, but like I don't approach them right away, but I add them. Like we have like probably like 150 mutual friends, and I'm like, okay, I might know you. And then that way they get a chance to watch my stuff. And then I go to my stories at the end of the day, and I see who watched them. I usually like to do the ones a little bit later in the story, because they are the ones that are interested and stayed around to watch the story. And I go through and I see who is like at least slightly interested. They're watching my stories, and then I see if I've invited them already, and then I start a conversation with them. So I do both. I feel like I've asked everyone that I know almost. So I've started kind of going to people I don't know so much, but my team that I have is mostly people I know, a few I don't know, but I invite everyone. I want to help everyone. So just got to get better and more consistent.
Good. Awesome. All right, Naomi.
Yeah, so why I wanted to get to Diamond, I think like a week into me deciding randomly that I was going to coach, I texted Hannah and I was like, I'm not saying I'm interested, but Disneyland, tell me about that. And she was like, oh, I think I still have the voice recording somewhere. She's like, oh, yeah, just to know what's going on, you just have to be diamond. So you want 4 coaches on each leg, and you need an emerald on each leg. And I was like, oh, so 10 more? She was like, yeah. And kind of like Destiny, it's just kind of in my personality where I have a goal. I have some check marks, some checkpoints to hit. And I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's do it. Get it done. And I wanted to get it done as fast as possible. So I think it was about 5 weeks from that point that it happened. And it has some weeks been a little bit like you're in, I think it's Pirates of the Caribbean, where he's in the barrel and there's like holes of water everywhere and you're like trying to plug them really fast. That's kind of how I felt last week, but we survived. But basically someone said Disneyland and I said, great. sign me up, we're going. When my husband and I were going through infertility, Disneyland was like my coping place. We went like 4 times in a year. It was just super crazy, but super fun way to escape reality. And so it's kind of become like a super near and dear place to my heart. And I messaged Danny like right after I hit Diamond. I said, guess I got to go get an annual pass again. Like, guess it's happening. So there's that. And then as far as invites, I also use Instagram. I think I started at about probably 800. And then I'm at a little like 1,000 now, just from networking and people that I don't even know, which is super fun. But I started with not my super close friends. That was more intimidating to me for some reason than people that I just knew from college or cohort or fellow teachers. That was a lot less intimidating. And at first, my invites were quite literally, hey, I'm doing this, do it with me. Like it was 2 sentences. And they're like, sure, great, sounds good. And then as I got through those people that were kind of the easy, quick ads of people that I knew would want to do it, then they got a little bit longer. I kind of combined, I asked Destiny for her invite. And so I kind of tweaked that a little bit. To every person that I sent it to. It was just like, hey, my group is a whole bunch of teachers or my group is a whole bunch of moms. Both of those things are true about the team that I'm building, but I kind of was able to cater it to whoever I was inviting and make them feel like that's why I thought of them. And there was always a reason. I thought of you because, and that I've never gotten a rude response from that. It's always like, oh, wow, thanks for thinking of me. I think that's the typical no thank you I get is thanks for thinking of me, but blah, 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 blah. So it's pretty great to have a specific reason to make people feel wanted. And it's true. It's not just, I'm not blowing smoke. Like that's why I thought of them and that's why I'm inviting them. So yeah, I'm trying to think if what else was the other part of your question. Did I answer them all?
Yeah, I think you did.
Okay. But
All right.
yeah.
Trisha.
Okay, so mine was, well, coming back from 2017, I already knew all the verbiage. I knew what diamond was. I knew what emerald was. I knew all those things. But I think what my biggest thing was, it was like my head game. And I was like, okay, so I've done this before. And now I'm coming back. And I was really nervous about it. And Hannah's biggest thing was just like, well, you have a perfect story to tell. So, you know, other people and moms that have gone through a story kind of like mine. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll just start with that. Cause I was afraid to get back into it because it's nerve wracking to go really gung ho for something and then disappear for a while and then come back. And so when I came back, I hit emerald, I think the first month, and was really excited, but I was like, diamond was so scary. And I was like, this is so scary. And then when Danny was like, let's go to Disneyland, I was like, yes, let's go to Disneyland. Because I have a FOMO for sure, especially with Danny's things that she always has things going on. I'm like, yes, I want that sweatshirt. I want that water bottle. And I need to go to the Disney trip. Okay. Like Jordan as well, I was so close, but did not hit the paid Disneyland trip, and I was super bummed, and I let it affect me for like a day. Then I called Hannah and was like, what do I do? And so like, how do I get back up from this? And I was like, I'm gonna do this. And then when she opened it up just a few days later, I think we saw that, I was like, yes, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be there. And so I went to Diamond that way. I feel like my road was a little like ebbs and flows here and there, especially to get to Diamond. I had people cancel and then like want to just push it out a month, and I'm like, no, don't do that. So please don't do that. And so it was just a lot of believing in myself. I think that was my biggest thing to get to Diamond, is that I had to believe that I could do it. And as far as like my market and invites go, same like Jordan, I think my first messages out the gate were way too word vomity and way too lengthy. And so I have been able to reach out to like Kristen and Maya and Hannah and just Danny and just lots of different people and asking them like, hey, what do you do? And then like collaborating it all and doing it my own and making it personal. But just like Naomi said, reaching out to people that are friends with you, like really close to you, are way more intimidating than just being like, hey, on Instagram or Facebook. Like they know me, but they don't really know me. So it feels a little bit more intimidating when you ask your friends, but I've gotten over, as I read my personal development, I've gotten over that hump and truly believed in what I'm doing here. So that's probably the biggest thing behind my invites now, is that when I send an invite, I actually believe in my invite and be like, I actually like really want you to join me, but I'm going to be okay if you don't, but I really want you to join me because I'm running and you're just here. But it's fine, I'm still running and you can run with me if you want. So I think that's my biggest I'd probably be my biggest takeaway in my invites, is that now I believe in myself. So no matter how many I send out, it's like, okay, well, you can join me or you don't have to, but here I go. So that's my biggest thing, I think, for that.
That's awesome. Okay. I thought of one more question, but I'll do that after this. Okay, so third question, what advice do you guys have to those coaches who are wanting to achieve Diamond this month or by the end of the year? We'll start with Destiny.
Yeah, so invite every single day. So I know the tracker can be hard to keep up with even on busy days, but it's so important. So I have yet to miss a day where I don't invite 10 people to my boot camp. Even on my busiest days, even when I don't feel like it, the bare minimum I do is I invite 10 people. So definitely do that. Be consistent. So like on Instagram, Hannah was the best teacher for this. Like she does her silly TikTok for Energize. She always does the Shakeology video, but you know that Hannah's going to show up every single day. So I always think that to myself too, because I do like to take some social media breaks like on Sunday, but I just show up for a little piece of that day and then I don't have to post anymore. But be consistent, because people are going to join someone who shows up every day, that doesn't disappear, and that you can tell is really passionate about it. Don't think that you are mediocre and you don't have anything to share about your life. I thought I had like the most boring life ever, but I've gotten so many messages on people saying, hey, I've been watching you absolutely crush it. Can I have more information? Or so people are watching no matter how boring you think your life is. And that might resonate with more people than you think, because they might think they're too boring as well, but they're not. So short challenges, like I said, the longer challenges I didn't get much interest in. So then I switched it from 6 weeks to 3 weeks, and I've got way more interest in that. And then always invite those people to keep going, of course. But in your invites, don't give them an option out. So don't say, hey, I want to invite you to this. No problem if not, but don't even put that in there. That's not an option for them. Let's see. So I would say be involved as much as you can as well. So come to the team calls, make time for the team calls, do the pushes, be involved, post on the boards and things like that, because I feel like then you really feel part of the community, and then that in the end pushes you to keep inviting and keep wanting to be part of this. And then be genuine. I've actually had a lot of people, well, probably like literally 8 people reach out to me in the past about Beachbody, and I've said no because I don't like the human beings that they are, and I felt like they were kind of fake. So just stay genuine to who you are. And that kind of goes again with, if you think you're boring, you're not boring, but that's who you are. And so people want to join you if you just stick to who you are. And then just go for it. I wish I would have just went for it so much sooner when Hannah first asked me, but it took me so long. So just, if you have a goal, write down that goal, post it on your computer, and just go for it.
I love everything you just said. Okay, Jordan.
Okay. Going off that, the team, yes. I know how good it feels and I need to get better at this too, but it feels so good. Like when Danny shares a post about something that I did, or I post something in there and there are people like commenting on it and engaging on it. And I love doing that for other people too. It feels so good. So definitely lean into the team. Everyone, there's so many people on that page for you. Everyone is here for each other. So definitely use that team page. It'll help you keep going. I think.
Jordan. Oh, you need
There we go. Okay. I don't know why when it switched. Sorry. First thing I had on here, be consistent. I have been having an issue with that lately, but you will be successful if you're consistent. Just make it part of your daily routine. Set time aside for that. But with setting time aside, don't make it your whole day. I was doing that also, where I was like trying to do so much, and I would, sorry, my baby's crying in the background. I would spend so much time trying to do things, and I was like, wow, I'm spending way too much time on this, and I could tell it was bringing me down because I felt like I was working so hard and getting nothing. And I was like missing out on family time and all this stuff. So definitely set a timer for things that you want to achieve and accomplish, and it'll kind of help you push to go a little bit faster. You won't feel like you're spending a ton of time trying to do whatever you're doing, because that's definitely something that I did before. No one is going to come to you. Definitely I've like seen that with me. You got to reach out to people. Don't be afraid. The worst they can do is say no. So yeah, don't be afraid. They're not going to come to you. But where did I? So loud. Where was this? Dang. Oh yeah, but like share your story, be yourself, kind of tell people how it could benefit them too. But definitely focus on yourself, and people are going to see that. And even if you're going to have to reach out to people, when you do reach out, they're going to see what you're doing. They're going to kind of have an idea of what you're doing if you're being consistent on your stories and sharing your stuff. So it's just going to make it easier with inviting, because they'll be like, oh yeah, I saw you do that. That sounds really cool. Where if you're not consistent, they're like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, the last time you posted about something was like 2 weeks ago. I don't know what you're saying. So definitely focus on yourself. Don't try to do too much. Definitely don't compare yourself to other people. Did a lot of that today with myself, and I was like, don't do that. I had to talk myself out of it. You are your own person. If you compare, it's just going to tear you down. People move at their own pace. What's cool about this is you can go as fast or as slow as you want, and it's all up to you. But literally anything is possible with this. You can say it a million times, anything is possible. Oh, sorry, I missed a whole bullet point. So when I first started, I did like hey girl messages. Like when I see a hey girl message in my inbox, I'm like, oh, that's definitely copied and pasted. And I'm like, that's definitely not to me. So personalize the invites in some way, add their name in, add something that you saw on their like feed, on their story, anything to make it known that you are talking to them, and it's not just a copy paste. You don't really care about them at all, because no one's going to want to join you if you don't actually care. So personalize them. Don't do hey girls.
Awesome. Thank you, Naomi.
Yeah, I think my number one tip is decide. Like, decide that you are going to be diamond. Don't make it an option for yourself. Don't, I want to be diamond someday, or yeah, I think I'm gonna kind of go for that goal. Like, decide and do it. You're gonna be diamond, and it's gonna happen, and make it happen. And the biggest way that I got there was asking people that scared me. I was asking the people that I thought were too cool, too like, you are way more in shape than I am. You're super crazy and out there, and vibrant and I'm just this, I don't know, peasant compared to you. That's like how I felt. But I would just invite them. And to be honest, they're my most surprising yeses. I got more yeses from the people that scared me, that I thought were too cool for me, than people that I had known for years. And that, I think, is just the biggest thing, is like, don't say no for people. That's what I've always been told. Like Hannah's told that to me, Danny's told that to me, like, don't say no for people, but then ask the people especially that scare you. Like, go through your list on Instagram and think about those people that was like, oh, I think that they can't, or I think they're too cool, or they probably have something else, or they do X, Y, and Z, and then just invite them. Just do it. Just press the send button and then tell me what they say. I'm just curious. But also sharing your life, like, more than just Beachbody. People don't want to watch just if you're just doing Beachbody all day, truly. Like, they want to know that that's part of your life and that you're consistent with it and see how it works into your life. But if that's all you're posting about, your views on your story are going to go down. And I have noticed people reach out to me more after I post like my baking montages, or something random about Elliot pooping, or like random stuff, you guys, like life, being, you are interesting, like what Destiny said, like, you are interesting, your life is interesting, and that is what makes you real and what makes you relatable to people. Like, the most random things are relatable to people. Like, me shopping in a grocery store all day for a dairy-free, soy-free butter got more responses than I think any post I've ever shared before, and it was so random. And I think you can kind of trick the algorithm a little bit if you post stuff that's not related to Beachbodies that people can respond to, like polls. So like, I'll notice my story views are going way down, and then I'll post a poll about baking, or I'll post a poll about help me decorate my living room. And I will get like 200 responses on those polls. And then the next day, my story views will be up like 150, because Instagram's like, oh, people like interacting with your stuff, we're going to push it through more. And so then the next day I'll do more Beachbody stuff and be like, these people haven't seen it before. So that's my other tip. Be consistent, share your life. People care. They care about you. That's why they're watching.
Love that. All right, Trisha, bring us home.
Okay. Well, everybody said all the things, but my biggest thing is don't overthink things. I think in the beginning, my biggest issue, especially back in 2017, is when I posted, like, it would take me forever to come up with content, and I would overthink it and overthink it and overthink it. And now, every once in a while, I still send Hannah like my post and be like, does this sound okay? But other than that, post it and be done with it. That was my biggest thing, is post it, let it be there. It's your voice, it's your story. There's nothing to apologize for. I think that's my biggest thing, is like, and I used to compare myself a lot to everybody else's posting, and now I'm like, well, I'm not them and they're not me, and so I'm just going to post what's on my heart in that moment. And sometimes it's not always the prompts, that sometimes if we're in a push or whatever it's for, but I'm like, but this is on my heart and I'm going to share it, and that's what matters, because that's what's going to hit people, and that's where it's going to hit home with certain people, and we have no idea who is reading our stuff. And I think if I can make a difference in one person's life for that moment and be like, oh my gosh, like, she just said something that just resonated, then we're doing our job, I think. So we're here to help people, and that's my biggest thing, is just be unique and be authentic to who you are. Again, we all have a story to tell, and we all come from different places. Our journey is very different on Beachbody. And yes, just like Naomi said, just like, they don't want to just see Beachbody and like Shakeology cup right here, hey, this is cool. It's like, no, this is why Shakeology makes me poop a lot. And like, all the things that Shakeology does for our bodies, right? And helps me with my migraines and things like that. That's what people want to hear. They want to hear what it's doing for us. and why these programs, everybody can go work out somewhere, but why are these programs so specific and why do we like it so much? So making sure that you're saying that, like after you do a workout, I always try to make sure like, and I've learned this from Danny and Hannah, a lot of their stories with their working out, little picture of them like doing it really, really fast in fast mode, is like talking about it, of talking about what you're doing while you're doing it, and like what you, maybe your arms hurt like a mother, or maybe your butt's on fire or something like that. People want to know that's like, oh, you're actually really working out and it's really hard for you. And it's like, yeah, some days I don't want to work out. This is hard for me. So I guess just being honest and real and authentic, and then just not overthinking your post, just going for it.
Awesome. Okay. Does anyone have questions for them? I saw we had one question in the chat. Let's see. Kate says, I'm struggling with getting friends and family to want to join themselves. I explain the benefits and they keep hitting me with similar response about price and the mentality of a pyramid. What is a good go-to phrase to help transition past that point in the conversation to keep them interested after they get that state of mind? So I will forever and always, I did a whole national wake-up call on it, is whatever you talk about is what people want from you. So if you are consistently getting price objections, it's because you haven't done a great job of showing the value in your posts, in your stories, all of those things. So there is nothing with more value that they can get for cheaper than Beachbody On Demand and a challenge pack. Period. Point blank. Nothing will give them more for less money than what a challenge pack offers, especially the MBF, now that they're getting 2 nutrition programs, 30 days of breakfast, an entire year of workouts. When you break down a challenge pack, it's 44 cents a day. Ain't no gym in the history of America is 44 cents a day and gives them all of those workouts, all of those nutrition plans, 30 days of breakfast, bod ropes, a coach, and accountability. Nothing on this planet will give them more for less money than a challenge pack. So you have to be relentless in talking about those things and showcasing the value. So if you say it one time, great, maybe a couple people heard you, but you have to be relentless about the things that you want. So if you are in love with it, then you will be okay with talking about it over and over and over again. I've said the same thing for 5 years straight, and I'm still not sick of saying it, because I'm truly convinced that there's nothing better than what we have to offer, right? So if you're willing to talk about it over and over again, then people will finally understand. But most consumers, it's going to take 7 to 12 times, like touched, before they are convinced to actually purchase. So if you haven't touched that person 7 to 12 times, then it's very easy to understand why they don't understand the value. So once you break it down for them, and you can do that in posts, in stories, in messages, wash, rinse, repeat, they'll start to understand, right? And in your post, comparing it to other things. I used to pay, I've heard people say they're paying $900 for an 8-week macro program. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, people, and here's the real kicker. Grant Cardone, Sell or Be Sold. It's a fantastic book if you struggle with the sales portion of our job. It is never about the price. Never. It's that they don't believe what you have to offer is the solution to their problem, because they will pay 10 times more for something else if they think it will solve their problems. Hence why we lose so many people to Orange Theory Fitness, which costs $160 a month versus $160 for a challenge pack, because they believe that Orange Theory Fitness is the solution to their problem, which means you haven't done a great job. And you is everyone, me, myself included, okay? We haven't done a great job of showcasing the value in what people get, whether it's through talking about it, whether it's through our own personal results, whether it's through our clients' results, our coaches' results, any and all of the above. But it's never actually about the price, because people will spend money on whatever they think is the solution to their problem. Okay. This was awesome. Okay, Hannah says, how are you guys staying motivated now that you are at Diamond? Okay, Destiny, you can start.
There we go. Trying to unmute myself. What's keeping me motivated now is actually honestly the messages I've been getting. I've been actively coaching since July, so that's about 8 weeks now. So people are starting to get transformations of their own. And it's just been amazing to get people's messages like, thank you so much for reaching out to me and giving me this information. I've lost this many pounds, or my stomach has never felt better. I feel a purpose again. Like, I'm hearing all of that stuff, which is what I talk about too. Because I feel like I lost a lot of my identity when Spin closed down, and I feel like I found myself again. So I talk about that stuff, and then the people are starting to message me back feeling the same way, and that makes me feel really good, like I'm actually helping people. And that's why I signed up for Beachbody specifically, was because I felt like I could help people. And then 1-star diamond sounds great, 2-star diamond sounds great, so why the hell not keep going, right? So yeah.
Okay, Jordan.
Can you come back to me?
Yeah. Okay, Naomi.
I think staying motivated it's hard sometimes, especially I'm a kindergarten teacher and school has started this month. And if there is not a bigger kick to your motivation, it is that. I'm so exhausted, but I continue to show up for myself and people notice. Like, I have gotten messages that say, you know, like, if you can do this while having a 5-month-old and teaching kindergarten, like, I can show up for my 30-minute workout. And I'm like, yep, we all have those reasons. And you don't have the time, you make the time. Like, I say that all the time to people who are like, I'm losing motivation, or I don't want to do my workout today. I'm like, you're right, you don't have the time, you have to make it. And I keep telling myself that for lots of aspects of my life, but for also coaching. And so that is keeping me motivated. That yes, I started my first week last week of a new 8-week challenge group that I'm doing. And so I did take a week off. I broke Destiny's rule. I did not invite anyone last week, but I had 3 people reach out to me about it. And so that was a super awesome bonus, I guess. But now I'm back to it because, yeah, 1-star diamond sounds great. 2-star diamond sounds great. And I think I get a little anxious for it. So I had started to build my husband, and Danny's like, whoa, 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 great idea, but do this first. And I was like, okay. So I don't know. Yeah, I think that's how I stay motivated, is I keep telling myself, if I tell other people to make the time for things that are important for them and coaching is really important for me, then I'm going to make the time for it.
Love that. All right, Trisha.
I would say probably my biggest motivation is, kind of what Naomi said, is like, I just love that the people that I've already invited, or that, because I always try to check in with every single coach and every single challenger, even if they're not a challenger anymore. Like, hey, you were a challenger. I try to check in with them at least once a week and say, hey, how are you doing? How are things? And I don't even bring up Beachbody. I just want to know how their life is. And I just love that it kind of like brings them back, and then also brings me back. So I'm like, okay, well, if they're showing up, I got to show up too. And so I really think that my biggest thing is just the messages I get from people being like, oh, I just feel so good. And I'm like, and they're like, I'm drinking so much water. I'm like, oh man, I should drink more water. Like, it's almost like they're motivating me again too. But I'm just consistent on my Instagram and my Facebook stories or whatever. And I think that helps. And then, of course, 1-star, 2-star, 5-star, what? Like, keep going. Yeah, all that sounds really good. And I just love it. And I love watching Danny succeed and everyone else succeed. So it's just like, if they can do it, why can't I, right? So I can do this, right? So just keep going. And I love helping people. So that's exactly what we're here to do. So that's probably what keeps me motivated the most.
Love that. Okay, so I know we only have like 3 minutes, so I just want to wrap it up in a nice tight little bow. Nothing you heard from any of these ladies was super complicated or like crazy or out of the ordinary that not every single coach on this team could be. I couldn't sleep last night. I got a new comforter. I swear to God, there was like bugs in it. And well, this is the last time I listened to a blogger about to buy a comforter from Walmart. Like, I'm kicking myself. Anyways, I don't think there's actually bugs, but I swear to God there was bugs, so I couldn't sleep. And I was just laying there because I literally think about Beachbody like 27 hours a day. And I'm like, man, how amazing would it be if every person on the team was Emerald or higher when we ended the year? Like, obviously, I'm hoping for a lot more, but there's so many people who flush so much money down the toilet. It is mind-boggling to me. And it's like, you deserve to get that money. I mean, like, you deserve to have more choices in life. You deserve to have less stress. You deserve to live in a body that you love and be supported and surrounded with people. Like, everybody deserves that. Like, it's not like a special person that deserves it. It's like every person is worthy and deserving of having all the success that they desire. And I just think that this is the time, this is the year, this is the team to do it. And I know times are hard and chaotic and struggling, but they have been for a long time. And this is kind of the new normal, and it's nothing that we can't overcome. And the people that succeed are the people that lean in and don't throw their self-care to the back burner and don't give up on themselves and don't stop reading their personal development. Like, you need to fill your mind with positive things right now. You need to be on these calls and having positive things every single night. We heard from Rachel last week, like, watch that freaking mindset call every single week. She said it right there. She's like, people outside of Beachbody, they're not like this. They're not positive and uplifting and want to see you succeed. Like, there's negativity and stuff. Now, I'm not saying everybody, but tell me about another circle that's like this. Like, I can't think of another group of women that I've been a part of that genuinely are like smiling, like, it hurts so much that I'm succeeding. Like, think of another group that cares that much if you succeed, because I cannot. And if you have one, then you're very lucky, but I cannot. Okay. This is a very special place to be. So be here. Okay. 8 o'clock. Let's take our picture. I'm going to stop recording.